and welcome along. This is Virtual Farmer, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at Sharon Center, Ohio. This is a map by Tonymif and Schultz Modding. It is available cross-play, so PC, Mac, PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. And yeah, it's a map based on a real location in the heartland of America, and I'm looking forward to this. Tony is a good friend of mine, just to let you guys know up front. But as always, I'll be as honest as I can be with this. And being honest, this looks really lovely straight off the bat. This is a gorgeous looking map, and the distance. All directions is just, yeah, amazing. I'm kind of blown away by this just immediately. Let's have a look at the PDA though. And straight off, this is a map that strikes me as being very good for the larger equipment. It is a standard 2X. It has very limited number of fields. I think our highest number here I can see is we got an 18, 19, 19, 20. Looks like we've got 20 viable areas, and in fact the listing confirms that. 14 fields in total, with 3 farms that are purchasable around the map. I think we've got one down the bottom here, and I think there must be one up sort of 23 way, and I'm guessing there's another one sort of over maybe around field 18 way. So we'll have a look at those and see what they're like as well. We do have some custom crops on here as well. We have some field grass, some silage maize, and some Vitic rye as well. So a few custom crops, which is great. 2 sell points. We've got a limited number of productions, so we've got what I would call the basics in a dairy and a grain mill, so we'll check those out as well. Plenty of building areas and a water tower to grab water. So let's go and have a drive around, and to do that we've got a suitably weirdly coloured Super Duty truck that we're going to be driving around on. I think this will work quite well for this map. So let's start this up. And away we go. It's been a little while since I've done a map tour, and I'm kind of trying to get back into these. So this is a little bit of a test to see if I can with my timings. I am on the wrong side of the road. So let's have a drive around here. It is a map of wide open spaces, but there's nothing that it looks interesting. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful in its openness. It's very obviously not flat. There's some elevation to it. I'm liking the look of everything around here. We've got a nice middle of nowhere gas station, lots of character to this. A generic store, I think. Now this is going to be the interesting thing with this map, because it does only have 2 sell points, and I think I would have possibly liked to have a few more than that, and maybe that grocery store would have been a good place to have a sell point around the back of. So I think there's my criticism is probably going to be around that. Certainly the build and how it looks and everything, I have no criticisms on that with this. This is looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving the look of the farmyard. Nice wide open American farmyard that seems to have, go around the back of here, seems to have a good set of barns that all fit in nicely. We'll go over the start equipment in a little bit, but that all looks great. I think that's a base game farmhouse, but yeah, all looking fantastic. Really loving the look of the farmyard. The roads, I think that the road is maybe a little bit wide, but as this is a map that you're going to be using some really big equipment on, that's probably a little bit more allowable is the wrong word, but a little bit more fitting, actually. So yeah, I'm liking that still works for me. Not noticing the edges of the map too much. It does seem to be one of those maps that has a tree-lined edge on it, but the trees aren't hiding anything, and it looks like the map edge comes up to the tree line. So it's not a map that suddenly drops off if you get beyond the edge. That's good. It looks like they've tried to integrate it as much as possible, which is great. I do like that a lot. Really great edge to the map. This, I'm guessing, is our animal or our animal market. Yep, exactly what this is. Fits in very nicely here. It's quite... it's a very desolate looking map to a certain extent. I'm quite pleased with the look of it, and I love the distance. I mean, just look at that. That is just such a long way, and you can see the water tower in the distance. So it works really, really nicely as that kind of map and open like that. We've got the farmers market here with a sell point on it, which is great. And then if we come around here, oh, this is one of the other farmyards. Yeah, you going around me. And we will bring this round and go and have a look at that farmyard. Now, I don't think this is, unless you're doing a single farm, I don't think this is a great multiplayer map. You're not going to get many fields per farm if you have to divide it across 3 different farms. So again, loving this yard. This farmyard works well. It's got its own water tower, which makes sense as the actual water tower is the other side of the map. Yeah, another great little yard. Works very, very well. So what I'm thinking there is you could do multiple farms. You could do multiplayer. There is space for it. If you then, in your multiplayer, went and divided some of these fields up, maybe. It seems to be, you're not going to get a lot of fields per player, and there is a certain amount of flexibility, I think, on this map to do that. In general, though, I think this would make a great large equipment multiplayer map on a single farm. I think that would work so well, and the same for working with a single player. You're going to want some fairly large equipment. I like this yard as well. This yard is pretty nice too. A good layout, plenty of space to build and expand. In fact, all these farmyards, I think you could do that with. And again, liking the farmhouse on here. That is a really nice farmhouse. So yeah, this is a good map. I really like it, and it's got enough detail in there. I mean, one of the things I pick out in all my map tours is how much detail is there in any forestry areas. And while this isn't a big forestry area, you can see that there is an attention to detail underneath the trees. So always a good sign that. Rarely do I find a map I don't like that has that kind of detail underneath the trees. So that is absolutely fantastic, and we've got nice little touches everywhere. As said near the beginning, I think my only criticism on this map is maybe I'd like a few more sell points and a few more productions, and I think there is space for them. We've got a general store here. This is a sell point, so that's very cool. In fact, is this I think might be a warehouse, and immediately I'm going, yes. Yeah, we've got a warehouse, which is fantastic. That's actually an aspect that lots of maps miss out. So yeah, I really love that there is a warehouse on this map. That is absolutely brilliant. We've got the grain mill over the other side of the road there. That is fantastic as well. We do have a sell point here, I think. Is this the rebuilt? This is, yeah, well, this is a sell point. I'm pretty sure that you open up. I thought this might be the one that's broken down on Riverbend, but yeah, this is great. So this is one of your sell points, and we've got another garage over the other side. So again, I think there is a little scope to increase the sell points and the variety on that and the productions a little bit. But as I said, in this case here, it given the general feel of this map, I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing. We've got the post office here. What have we got here? Fire department. Yeah, and then we got a sort of a small town over this way. Again, nice little bit of detail right at the edge of the map here that fits rather nicely. Hardware store. Yeah, I don't think we got any more sell points in here. We've kind of had a look, but yeah, Central Cafe. There's a couple of buildings you could just stick a sell point area or a production area behind, and it would work really well. So I think I'd like to have seen a little bit more of that. Otherwise, I think this is feels much more of a pure farming map. We've got a dairy in there. That's fitting in quite nicely. We've got some grass. Again, liking the edge of the map. It sort of doesn't. There is a certain level of obviousness to it, but not massively so. Not so much that it takes me out. It's only really because I'm looking for it at the moment. Yeah, that's looking great. So we have made it back round to the shop. I am going to come back around here. I think this is an interesting looking map. I think it would be a lot of fun to play, especially if you like the bigger equipment. I think if you're looking to do anything more than the basics of farming, you are going to have to place a little bit more onto this map to do that. Thankfully, there is some space to do it, but as I would say, I would like to see the I would like to see those bits really in there to add a little bit more character without you having to build them when I'm going around a map. But this map does strike me, as I've said a few times now, as a map that is very much on the side of giving the basics to be able to go around and do it, and to create yourself a farm around here and to farm it, and not much more than that, but it does that really, really well. So there we go. That is a quick drive around. Let's have a quick look at the equipment that we have on here. And now we can use the garage mod that got released in the last couple of months for Farming Simulator 25 to go through the equipment. Looks like we got a decent array of equipment, so I'm quite liking the looks of this. In the large tractor category, we've got the Massey Ferguson MF 9S 425. So we've got 425 horsepower on that. That's a decent sized tractor to get started with for your larger pieces of work on the farm. And then in the medium tractors, we've got the AGCO 8810 at 225 horsepower. So yeah, nice medium tractor. That should be better. That should work well for the smaller stuff. In the trucks, you start with an International Series 200 truck. That's quite cool. I like that. Trailer wise, you've got a Cramp Ram Body AS750 Plus. That will cart pretty much everything you need. And we've got an auger wagon as well. This absolutely strikes me as a map where using auger wagons and things like that, it absolutely would fit in. And yeah, that would have to go on the Massey at 300 horsepower. We've got a Vadestad NZ Extreme 1425 cultivator. That works really well. We've got a Lemkin Solitaire 12 planter and a Lemkin Solitaire Cedar, and then a Kinsey 4905 Blue Drive planter. So that should cover everything that you would want to plant on here and seed. We've got the standard Breedle K105 spreader. In our grain headers, we've got a Massey Ferguson MF Free Flow 25-foot header. We also have a Capello Diamond 8 corn header, and the harvester to use those two headers is the Massey Ferguson MF Beta 7360AL4 combine harvester. This feels a little bit small for this map, I'll be honest. That is not a massive grain tank on that. I think I would possibly like to have seen you start with not the top size of combine, but something a little bit bigger than this. Maybe something with a 10 or 12,000 litre tank. That does feel a little bit small as a starting combine. And then finally, yeah, we've only got the Lizard Super Duty bed, which I added. So it's a very basic set of equipment you start with, to be honest. Plenty of space to expand, and as I said, I think that combine harvester feels a little bit small for where you're starting with on this map. But all in all, I think this is a really nice map. I think it's well worth going and checking out, especially if you like your bigger equipment. I think I would definitely switch out the combine when I started up on here and grab something a little bit larger for that. Possibly get myself a truck and trailer as well to transport stuff off the fields. Oh yeah, you do have a fertilizer spreader. So yeah, you don't have anything to deal with weeds, but and you don't have any grasswork stuff. So there is plenty of space to expand on here, which I quite like. So really, that's my conclusion on here. Go check it out. It is a fantastic map. It is well worth giving a go, especially if you like to concentrate more on your farming and less on your productions and things outside of that. I think you could have a lot of fun on here with some really big equipment. And I think this is a great map for either the Nexat Pack DLC or the Plains and Prairies DLC. I think both of those DLCs would work brilliantly on this map. So if you have either of those, then I think those would be a great place, or this would be a great place to give those a spin. Thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Huge thank you as well to all of my patrons and channel members. These videos are only made possible thanks to your support. If you want more from Virtual Farmer, please check out the videos on screen now or subscribe for more. And I will see you next time.